Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Nowadays, many people think that believing in the existence of Creator doesn't make sense. They say that today we are in the era of science and technology. How can we believe in the existence of the Creator? People who speak like this, they really are not aware of the science and technology. Why I'm saying this is that science cannot disprove the existence of God. They have very superficial information about science and they think that there is no God. If you study more about science, you have to come to a conclusion that there should be a creator, there should be a designer who created everything, who designed everything. I just want to go to one simple example. We all the living beings, they all have cells. Imagine people, many times we found that people say that the life came into existence because of evolution, but they haven't really understood what is the evolution theory talks about. So for sake of argument, let's say that all the creatures, it came as a result of evolution from a single common ancestor, a single cell. Okay, this is what they say. Okay, now comes the question that how the first cell came into existence. Even the first cell, it should have a genetic code inside it, a minimal set of genetic information that should be present inside it, and then there should be RNA polymerase. It's a molecular machinery which is inside the cell, which binds to the DNA and transcribes the information in the DNA to another code, RNA. And then there should be another molecular machinery that should be present inside the cell called ribosomes. It goes and binds to the RNA and then translates information in the RNA to protein molecules, and then the proteins perform the function. So inside even the first common ancestor, it should be a single cell. It should carry out a lot of tasks inside, right? So who put that basic information necessary for a single cell to exist and maintain its function and replicate? It should have a basic set of information there. Who put that information there? How that information came into existence? How those machineries came into existence? Someone need to assemble it. Someone need to create a cell and put the code inside and put all the necessary machinery that needs to survive. So if you ask this many times, if you ask this question to the agnostic or the people who believe in atheism, they don't have an answer. So imagine many times we conclude things based on things we see something. For example, imagine if you are walking in a desert, if you see some footsteps, what would you conclude? We conclude that someone has to walk here, that's why there is some footsteps. We don't say that millions and millions of years of wind blows here and there and then it created this. No. Imagine if you see some kind of structure in the desert. For example, if you see some kind of building in the desert, in the middle of the desert, we say that someone has to build this. That's why it came into existence there. You cannot say that it because of millions of years of random process and then it came into existence and then slowly it evolved and become like this structure. So we humans, we always see, they say that, we have to see the Creator, then only we believe. Yeah. So imagine, many times we conclude things without even seeing the person doing it. So imagine you are going to your house and then you see the door was open and then everything was messed up inside the room. What would you conclude? Do you conclude that things happen there randomly, or you use your brain and think that as things are messier there should be someone who came here and did all these things? The same way, See the things around you. See, there are so much creatures. There are millions of creatures around you. They all have a unique genetic code there. We humans, we have a unique genetic code. There's so much information there. And then you see so much plant species, so much animal species. They all have a unique genetic code. How they came into existence? You should, if you use your brain, you have to conclude that someone has to create this genetic code and made all these creatures. This is a very simple and rational explanation. You cannot come and say that, okay, after millions and billions of years of a random process created this kind of things. No, it doesn't make sense. Even inside a single cell, I explained just before, it's a sequential process. First, the DNA is transcribed to RNA by RNA polymerase. Then after that, step 2, ribosomes comes and bind to the RNA and transfers information into proteins. This is a sequential process. It's well designed. Random processes cannot lead to this kind of sequential mechanisms. Imagine if there is a programmer who designs some kind of system, a looping system. Okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, and then he makes his algorithm and then he executes it. In the cell, it happens like that. It's a sequential process. There are a lot of regulatory mechanisms. I'm just saying transcription and translation. There are 2 main steps. There are other steps are involved. There are so much regulatory mechanisms inside the cell. Who build this complicated system inside the cells? We should. The rational answer is that there should be a creator who has to make these things. So that's why I really request people to discuss about these things with your friends. Because the people are so ignorant, although they have degrees of engineering and this and that, they haven't really thought about it. They are not giving a thought about it. When we discuss, people start thinking, and then more and more we ask, they say that I don't know. This is what the answer that we get. So believing in God is not against science. Yeah, there are many atheists who became Muslims when they were given the right information. When they start thinking about it, so some people they came back to theism. So many people come to Islam. There is one scientist I come across. His name is Anthony Flew. He was academic. He has even have Wikipedia page. You can go and check. He has been advocating atheism. He was debating for atheism for many years. But in his end of his time, actually, he wrote a book. There is a God. So actually, he reverted his position, and then he became. He started believing in a God. The reason for his belief is that it's because of his research about DNA led him to conclude that this cannot come as a result of random sequence of events. Because there is so much information there, this should be come from an intelligent designer who has to design it. That's a very rational conclusion. Yeah. So that's the conclusion he made. Not only there are many people who made. So don't think that, don't have the inferiority complex that, okay, if I believe in a God, what people will think about me. No. Even if the intellectual person has to come to conclusion that there should be a creator. People who reject God, that's a more irrational thing to consider, because a random process cannot lead to a well-designed system. I can give more and more arguments. I don't want to take a lot of time. So please give a thought about it. If you are an atheist, you are an agnostic who sees this video, think about it. Use your mind rather than come on attacking, using harsh words and disrespectful words.